going on, Sooner Nation? So today we got to talk about the surging recruitments for the University of Oklahoma, especially after some of the recent commitments like Darius Aflava, the four-star offensive lineman who Oklahoma fans are excited about this one because he comes out of the state of Utah, establishes another hopeful pipeline there. But Oklahoma's got several commitments potentially upcoming over the next week. I think we could see a couple surprise commitments drop. We got to talk about it. We got to discuss it. But I want to hear from y'all because Oklahoma is posting up a really nice 2025 class. So far, they have 19 commits with a 247.72 composite score with the number 5 class. And the question I got for you is here. Is Oklahoma going to maintain a top 5 class throughout this cycle? And actually, I've just misspoken because as I'm recording this, Oregon has just jumped Oklahoma with the commitment of the 5-star cornerback, Dejon Lee. But the University of Oklahoma, they're on a heater right now. Brent Venables, Bill Bedenbaugh, Emmett Jones, these guys specifically are guys that we're watching to see how they're going to finish this class. And where we got to start is with Emmett Jones because he has put up a stellar wide receiver class. And we've talked about the potential of having a 5-star wide receiver here with Elijah Thomas. Like, if he goes out there and he camps well enough, has a good senior season, he's going to continue to rise through boards. And you see that with his athleticism. He's just got that ability. But on July 1st, you have Cortez Mills coming up with a commitment. And this is one that Oklahoma fans, you've possibly been watching pretty closely. It's been an Oklahoma and Clemson battle. But here's the deal. We know that Cortez Mills was on campus the same weekend as Marcus Harris, and they had a really great time together. And in fact, they talked quite a bit. So Cortez Mills, Marcus Harris, is Marcus Harris doing a work for Oklahoma not even a couple weeks after being committed to Oklahoma where they were kind of behind in that recruitment? I say yes. You've seen a lot of the predictions flow in from the insiders, whether it's 247 or on 3. So at this point, you can pretty well safe to say July 1st, you probably expect Cortez Mills' commitment to the University of Oklahoma, probably giving them their 20th commitment in this class. But then we got to turn our attentions to the defensive line, specifically the defensive end. And you got Smith Orogbo making his college decision on July 1st. Now, this one's been a Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Texas battle. And a lot of people will probably tell you this is now an Oklahoma or Texas battle. But there are some people that still believe Texas Tech is in the mix. Texas Tech is currently where all the predictions lay. But I want to tell you this. In my conversations with Smith Orogbo, one thing I've said before is he expressed to me that Norman does feel like home to him, right? So usually when a recruit tells me something about a place feeling like home, that's generally a good indication that school is probably going to land that kid's commitment or is going to be one of the final contenders. Well, Oklahoma's the final contender here. The question is that factor going to be able to pull out for Smith Orogbo and be able to land his commitment for OU? Miguel Chavis has landed a pretty good defensive end class so far. You've got CJ Nixon, Alex Shieldknight, Smith Orogbo would be number 3. You're still waiting on Cade Petchak. A lot of us believe that's trending to Oklahoma. You've heard some Kansas State guys out on the side say, hey, Kansas State's not out of this thing. But I think all of the signs still point towards Oklahoma landing that commitment. It's just a matter of when at this point, not if, is what I think. And then you've got Smith Orogbo, who at that point would be the 4th guy because Cade Petchak's already had his official visit. This is going to be an interesting one because I think Tech still has an opportunity here. I don't think there's necessarily a leader at this moment. I think Smith Orogbo is going to keep this tight to the chest. You might see a few predictions come in late, but I don't think they're going to let out of the bag who's going to get this one early. I'm going to go ahead and say Oklahoma lands him. I think they're going to push a little bit harder since they lost Max Granville. And like I said, from my conversations that I've had with Smith Orogbo, it just feels like Oklahoma, Miguel Chavis, they're in a really good spot there if they wanted to actually go out there and land him. The third guy that Oklahoma's potentially got on July 1st is Marky Hennichor. Now, Marky Hennichor is a 4-star linebacker out of the same high school that Jaden O'Neal is at. And for a while, we've all told you Oklahoma's trending really well here. I don't think Oklahoma and Marky Henitor are going to be a marriage at this point. I think Marky Henitor probably picks the ponies on September 1st. The reason why is Oklahoma's also got a 4-star linebacker out of the state of Nebraska in Christian Jones that, one, they've recruited a little bit longer. I think they like a little bit better. But, if things get a little dicey with SMU, I think you just kind of let it walk. And right now, I think that's where this one's going to land. Not saying Oklahoma doesn't make a final minute push, but if you're an OU fan, I would not be setting yourself up to think we're getting Marky Henitor on July 1st. But then you've got other commitments that they don't necessarily have dates out, but you're kind of waiting, right? And the first one is Lamont Rogers. He was on campus a couple weeks ago, and we haven't really heard a whole lot in terms of a commitment date. When is this thing winding down? Missouri has been a primary competitor here, and you feel like Missouri's in it because of money, right? Same thing with Texas A&M. Texas A&M has a little bit more development, though, aspect to it, so you could understand the Texas A&M piece. Missouri, you just look at it and go, money, because that's what Missouri does. That's what they've made their reputation on. But Oklahoma has made a lot of progress in this recruitment. If you guys remember, back at the February junior day, after the junior day, they hosted a bunch of 2026, 2027, and 2028 kids, and a bunch of his Mesquite Horn teammates were there. So Oklahoma's pursuing other kids like Legend Bay out of his high school, and I think Oklahoma I think they've made moves. I think at this point, they've supplanted themselves as the leader in this recruitment. It is no surprise and no secret. Sean Hutton is friends with Lamont Rogers and Michael Fasusi. And if you guys are in the Discord with Jay, I have expressed why I believe Oklahoma is going to land Lamont Rogers and Michael Fasusi. So you guys will have to jump over there. You can find it in one of his video description links to be able to join that Discord. But right now, I'd say Lamont Rogers ends up as a Sooner. So does Michael Fasusi. And I would bet we see Lamont Rogers announced probably within the next week. If it drags out any longer than that, don't think you get him. You look at Marion Robinson. I believe he's on July 6th. Again, I believe Oklahoma is going to come out there and win that recruitment. You've had recruits that are currently committed in this class really trying to get out there and recruit him, specifically Marcus Wimberly, who's in the same state as him, was at one point committed to Arkansas, decommitted, and picked Oklahoma. So Marion Robinson, that's a 4-star safety that was wanted by Georgia. He's wanted by Oregon. So, if you look at his offer sheet, he's got the offers behind him. At this point, it's an Oregon-Oklahoma battle. Is Oregon's money going to be able to win out here? Don't think so. Oklahoma, I think, has done enough in this recruitment to win it. They got him out there for the champion barbecue, which I think was a huge win. So you look at Oklahoma's class. I was talking to Jay and Cooper over at Unfair Sports about the other day. I said, I think Oklahoma ends up somewhere probably about 26 commits. And if they do that, they're probably going to be in the 280 to 290 range in the composite score, which I think lands you a top 5 class at this point. The question is, does an Oklahoma get Michael Fasusi, Lamont Rogers, and Andrew Babalola? The intel around Andrew Babalola is actually kind of interesting. Not one that I'm ready to call yet. I'm still going to stay on Fasusi Island as you're starting to see other people jump on that island with me. But Oklahoma would still have a fantastic class. And at that point, Bill Beadenbow probably is your national recruiter of the year, and this is one of his best classes at the University of Oklahoma. So, guys, I want to hear from you. Jump in the comments below. Join the discussion. Let me know what you guys think around the 25 class for Oklahoma. What are your thoughts? Hey, and if you guys have made it this far and you have not already, make sure you guys go ahead and you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.